Alright guys, of course the clock decides to chime while I'm doing this. I haven't worked on Huxley House for a while. I haven't worked on much of anything. I'm trying to finish writing a book for this month. I have a deadline, but I do have my cello project, which is, I think I'm going to start it pretty soon, as soon as I get my book to editing. And then I got some flooring. I need to figure out a hinge to make this work. And I also have this shadow box, so there's another smaller project that I'm going to be working on. So I promise I will be posting on Instagram with something cool soon.
And no project is properly begun without the spilling and anointing of blood. I always cut myself with my razor knife when I'm whittling. It happens. So now it is always embedded in my work. Here are the separate floors as I begin to define the spaces and pencil in some ideas of what's going to happen inside this little baby cello. And I kind of started the cabinets and obsessed with the central part first, doing a little bit of the bottom floor. Got some paneling, a fireplace, and a cabinet with 2 pin-hinged cabinet doors. I've also cut a window in the side. And now I'm starting on the top floor. I built the bed niche and the downstairs. You'll see details as we go.
So yes, I have continued to work on this today, and the downstairs hasn't changed much. I did a little sizing of paper. I papered the background on the cabinet here. I haven't done any shelves or anything. I still need to make a flue because I need all of my flues to be connected. And I made the bed in the bed chamber and the little baby fireplace that goes there. And I'm also working on a little tub, which is kind of a crazy mess of pins right now. And I will be building a vanity for the washbowl decanter and for the chamber pot. So there you go.
I build by flying by the seat of my pants. I do it in every one of the projects that I take on. I am not precise. I do not measure very often. I just go, and if it looks level to me, that's level. There probably isn't a straight line in this whole project, like most of my projects, but that's okay, because these are whimsical fantasy pieces. They are not made to look like something that you would see in a home magazine. This is my way of telling stories, and I can't do it without my podcasts. So here I am, just eyeballing and cutting and building and papering. I got the paper from the scrapbooking section of the craft store. They have these little books full of really cool textures and drawings, and I am installing them. Please excuse my husband, he's falling asleep next to me. And now I'm building the flue of the fireplace for the downstairs showcase area. And I'm using wood to kind of hold things in place. There's a lot of curves in here, so I have to push the wood in there and make sure it stays glued. Yes, I use emery boards to sand. And this is basswood, not balsa wood. I do not recommend using balsa wood for anything if you want it to last. I'm installing a countertop for the workshop area of the shop. There you go, that's a better view. And now I'm going to be building the shelves. And there I've installed some bracing to keep the boards bended. And as you can see, it's working with the curves. There's a little bathtub all roughed out. And now I'm starting to stain and paint. I will do this in multiple layers. There's the center floor, the living area. This is the shop and the workshop area. And that is the bedroom and bathroom area. I love the vanity. I built it right into the wall. And I think I went a little overboard with the distressing on the back of the workshop. This is the mattress that I made. This is not 1/12 scale. It's kind of 1/12 scale. And here I'm building the custom chair for my little mouse resident. As I was saying before, I was not working in 1/12 scale, but close to 1/12 scale, because this is a mouse residence. I'm slowly accessorizing, painting, finishing, polishing, sewing, putting in the flooring, shelves, tea hangers, bedroom curtain and a tie back, and look, little footstool, books, a picture of cheese by child suggestion.
Miss Felicity's Wheaty Cream Crackers.
Made from all natural, hand-gathered wheat. Baked to perfection by the Felicity Field Mouse Family Bakers. A wholesome addition to any meal. I like that I get to make all the details for this project too, like the items for the pantry. And now these items have been added into the pantry.
The shelf is becoming more and more plentiful. Oh, let's move this lace over.
Tell me you don't want to sit in front of that cozy, flickering fire. I want to live here. And now that I've avoided the hard part with food, I am now about to cut glass. I'm going to fill these voids that I made the other day. I add in a bay window and I don't know why I put picture here. Oh, I glazed the S holes, the S curve holes, and there I've installed some windows in there. It's actually real glass. I cut it a little unevenly on purpose because I wanted it to look like they were assembled by field mice who made them from bits of found glass. So the door and the windows have been glazed, even the round one in the living room. And then it's time to trim everything out, make it look neat. And I added a little decorative trim on the door to look like violins. A little signage, a little stain.
Added some signage,
Starting to come together. Look at those hinges.
Here are
And
some
there are some
tools.
tools.
Where do they belong?
Those go in the
In the
workshop.
workshop.
Some curtains.
And look at that.
The little table that I turned. And another flickering
And a
fire.
flickering
I'm experimenting
fire.
with different light bulbs. A quick snack.
A little tasty snack.
And there you go. We've got a picture of the beloved.
I added some hinges and a sign. And
Miss
a door
Book's
for
Silkery
Mrs.
has an
Book's
entrance.
Silkery.
Isn't that lovely? Look at the hanging sign. I found the little wooden sign at a yard sale. And there is
And that is a picture
the
of
young mouse's
Mr.
beloved girl.
Petkani's
And now
beloved.
it's time to
And now
cut
time to make some instruments.
This is the first batch. I intend to make more and collect more as the years go by, but this is enough to fill the stockroom so that he can have things to offer customers. And we're outfitting them with nicks and the little bridge. And the necks are carved by hand from little blocks of wood.
It looks like Mrs. Book has provided some silk for the strings, so let's attach it. Isn't that darling?
So we begin with the silkery, and if you can see, there's Mrs. Book. She is preparing silk, and she actually sells it to Mr. Pektani, and he uses it to string his violins and his cellos, and this is his little workshop. We've got the little scrap wood box there, and there's his work table, and it looks like he has a snack set up, and some tea. His tools and his patterns. And then this is the sales side of the shop. As you can see, he's got a few of his instruments ready for sale. And we go upstairs, he would climb the ladder, and he comes out into his residence area. And here's his little sitting room and kitchen. He has a little fireplace. picture of his preferred lady, and that is his pantry. And he has some sunflower seeds and some bread, and these are tiny little acorns. And he has berries. Those are huckleberries, and those are blueberries. Some butter and some cheeses, because he is a mouse after all. And of course you have to have fresh jams made from berries and whatnot. And of course a soup tureen and some dishes and whatnot. So he even has silverware too. Let me see now, is the silverware in here? Yes, so he has a little drawer of silverware. And then when he's tired and he's had the end of the day and he's eaten his little supper and he's sat by his fire and enjoyed his evening. By the way, these little rugs were gotten at an antique store. I found a whole bunch of them, and they apparently came with cigar boxes once upon a time, so they're the perfect size. So then he climbs up his little ladder into his bedchamber and bathroom. So there you are. He has a washbowl and decanter, and he has a chamber pot, and there's some fresh towels there, and a soap dish, and he has a little towel and his little tub. And then over here is his bed, his little bed niche, and a picture of his father. Maybe it's even a picture of him. And that's his little niche, and a little pillow. And then he has an alarm clock and another little fireplace here that, all of which I'm going to install some flickering bulbs. So there you go. And all of this is inside of a baby cello.
This is a baby cello. It was a teaching instrument for children. After many years of helping children make music, it was destined for the burn pile. But Kennedy Violins of Vancouver, Washington let me have it, and I gave it a second life. It is now a tiny luthier shop and home for a musical mouse. Mrs. Puck's Silkery Below Floors provides the spider silk for the instrument's strings.